I'm coming in loud and clear. This is your host, Bezel Bay, with a quick tutorial over the DTC and DTCC mechanisms available for those that are doing M3 conveyances. Again, before we begin, small disclaimer, each and everything I'm about to show you in this particular tutorial is for educational purposes only. We do not profess to give legal advice. If you find yourself looking at this information and you're going to partake in any type of M3 asset conveyance, if you're not involved inside of the compliance officer training syntax trust mastery course, we ask that you seek those individuals that have such expertise, because here on WTDTA radio, what we're providing is educational information only. Now that it's out the way, a few days ago I gave everybody access to this operational arrangement. And it says necessary for securities to become and remain eligible for DTC services. And this kind of gives you a breakdown of what this document is. Important legal information. Services described herein are provided by DTC pursuant to the terms and conditions of these operational arrangements, as well as the rules and procedures of DTC and other agreements of the parties, collectively the agreements. All issuers of securities deposited at the DTC, agents and underwriters are required to adhere to the requirements stated in these operational arrangements. And are obligated, among other things, to follow precisely the procedures outlined in the agreements and provide DTC with complete, accurate information. In accepting instructions from issuers, agents, and or underwriters, DTC relies upon other things, duty of issuers, agents, underwriters, participants to exercise diligence in all aspects of each transaction processed through the DTC. In connection with their use of DTC service, issuers, agents, underwriters must comply with all applicable laws, including all laws relating to what? Securities, taxation, money laundering, as well as sanctions under AFIC. As part of their compliance with AFIC sanctions regulations, all issuers, agents, and underwriters must agree not to conduct any transactions or activities through DTC that violates the sanctions administered and enforced by OFIC. Issuers and agents and underwriters expressly acknowledge the services provided by the DTC are administrative in nature. Moreover, as further reflected by DTC's fee structure, which typically bears no relation to the dollar value of any given transaction, DTC does not accept any risk of loss to such issuers, agents, and underwriters with respect to the transactions being processed by the DTC. From time to time, the DTC relies from outside sources, notice, and documentation. And I'm highlighting all of this stuff because I'm trying to show you what a lot of people will fail, in my opinion, to tell you before they go on a tandem about the DTC and DTCC. I'm just showing this to you because now we're going to get to the meat and potatoes, in my opinion. I want you to look at the table of contents, the eligibility requirements. As you look through the eligibility requirements, we come to the standards and documentation. Those of you that are compliance officers, you should be really interested in this section right here. You should really be interested in all of this right here. I'm just going to put my cursor and stop on a particular subject line. That's 7-9. Matter of fact, let's go to 7 and 9, just for laughs and giggles. 7, 9. D, 7, page 7, page 9. 7. 7 talks about ownership thresholds. Ownership thresholds relating to tax consequences of ownership qualifications. In certain cases, e.g., real estate investment trusts, REITs, net operating loss, NOLs, issuers may seek to restrict maximum amounts of outstanding issued securities that an individual owner may acquire or present or to prevent transfer to certain categories of investors. For DTC to accept securities of this type for eligibility, the DTC may request the issuer must submit to the DTC's written assurance that these restrictions will not be enforced against the DTC and CD company or any of the parties through the DTC. Depending upon the fact and circumstances of a particular issuer's securities, DTC may also require that its sole discretion an indemnity letter protecting its participants, customers, and failure. Now, boom. A copy of a template form of indemnity letter may be obtained. Now watch this. Just for laughs and giggles. I'm going to copy this. Just for laughs and giggles. And we're going to try to find the document that's in question. The requested document was not found. Da 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 da. Blah 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 blah. Now, because the document was not found. What does that mean, Bazell? What does that mean, Bazell? What does that mean? Hold on. Keep your shirt on. If they are alluding that an indemnity bond protecting the DTC and its participants and their customers from failure, what one could do, because you can't find the letter, quote unquote, anymore, is you would copy this information. Copy. Point and click. Bow, bow, like that. So you would do that, right? And then, I don't know, maybe you'll pull up ChatGPT. We'll just say we're going to pull up ChatGPT for laughs and giggles, right? That's what we do, right? You pull up ChatGPT. And this is for all of you guys that are compliance officers. I already went through the whole breakdown of what you need to have. You need to have, for R&D, research and development, of a paid version of ChatGPT, in my opinion, with all the plugins. And then you're going to use Eris on the other end. But keep listening because you're going to learn something. All right, so I go here and I say, I need a indemnity letter. As a compliance officer, can you create an indemnity? I'm spelling it wrong. Don't get mad. I'm spelling it wrong. Let my Mary Jane do her thing. As a compliance officer, can you create an indemnity letter using this as a reference point. And I'm going to like that. And I'm going to copy. Yeah, copy. I meant paste what I copied. Yeah. Boom. I don't know. If I did this right, maybe we'll get something. I don't know. Maybe. Let's just see. Do 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 do. An indemnity letter. Wow. And once you get the indemnity letter, I would say, impressive. But oh, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Because, see, I would now take this indemnity letter over to, you guessed it, Eris. Eris-AI. Ba-ba-boom. Ba-ba-ba-boom, boom. No dogs allowed. Yeah, go over here. Yeah. Go over here to Eris-AI. And I would, I don't know. Let's find Eris. There we go. Good old Eris-AI. Let's talk to Eris. You know. We're going to talk to Eris, right? Let Eris do its thing. And I go back to this last conversation I just had with Eris. That's for a previous class I did. No worries, no worries, no worries. We're going to move this out of the way. And I'm going to say, can you rewrite this indemnity letter indemnity letter Eris-AI compliant. I don't know. Maybe we'll get something. Maybe we won't. I don't know. I'm just curious. So we'll copy. Yes. We'll copy the letter. Let's copy the letter right here. Copy. And then we'll paste it right here in Eris-AI. And then I don't know if I did it right. Maybe we'll get something. Do 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 do. Eris-AI is reading. Do 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 do. It's thinking. Do 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 do. It's analyzing. Do 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 do. It's researching. Do do. Do 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 do. It's checking on the internet. Do 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 do. Eris is now typing. Do 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 do. It now is constructing this indemnity letter. And I don't know. We'll just sip some coffee and we'll just watch the magic now, won't we? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And we're looking and we're looking and we're and I'm just looking at the letter that was written up here. Hmm. And I'm looking at the one down here. Hmm. 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 And it's just keep swimming, just keep swimming. It's doing its thing. And the case in point, I oscillate between both uh, language models because I'm looking for a finished product that's going to give me exactly what I'm looking for based upon the resources and tools that are there. Now remember, I pulled this information directly off of the operational agreement. And based upon the information that I was prompted and given, I think this version would serve as a pretty good indemnity letter. So let's go back. All right. Now that we got the indemnity letter out of the way, threshold imposed by the regulators under certain provisions of laws and regulations administered by federal, provincial, state, or local regulators, issuers may be required to withhold dividends, interest, and voting rights, or to compel the redemption or disposition of one or more issuer securities held by any beneficial owner in accordance with the laws or regulations. And again, it'll tell you all of that quote unquote good stuff. Special letters. Um, why am I highlighting this? Well, I'm highlighting this because as I progress through this document, remember we're going to 7 and 8, talks about these indemnity letters and how they're to be used. Now, this is page 9. And page 9 is going to talk about the revision of eligible securities. Revision of eligible securities, DTC, cannot affect changes on its records with regard to the terms and conditions of outstanding securities without the lawful instructions and proper authorization form from the issuer. When the maturity of an issuer is amended, issuers must provide the DTC with an indemnity letter which instructs the DTC to make relevant changes to the terms and conditions of the affected securities at the time such changes are duly authorized. In the event the terms and corporate actions are not in agreement with the terms originally established in the bond indemniture reflected on the DTC's system, issuers or its agents must provide DTC with an indemnity letter which instructs DTC to make changes at the time such changes are duly authorized. Now let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. If I keep going in this document, and these are the operational agreements, wouldn't you be able to very quickly through both your systems come up with a formula? Because all securities are going to be insured and reinsured, and they're going to be attached to some sort of transmittal letter. That transmittal letter could have all this stuff that we're talking about in it, and it's going to be placed on a UCC1, a UCC3, and a UCC5. When it's on a UCC5, a UCC5, we're now ready for the implementation guide. See, the implementation guide is then going to tell you how all those things that was done on the DTC side, remember the DTC side, and how it needs to look on the DTCC side. And it's all going to be utilizing these forms. So it's going to go in the DTC under those operational agreements, and then it's going to be ready to be used. Funds transferred, fund transfer, project, fund transfer. It's going to be ready to be transferred, and it's going to have to be transferred a certain type way. I don't know. I'm just going to go through this, and we're looking for, let's see, how it's going to be transferred. How it's going to be transferred. If it's going to be transferred, it's going to be transferred through some sort of accounting system. I don't know, some kind of system that's going to be dealing with accounting. I don't know. I'm looking through this manual. I'm looking. Wait a minute. Before I go through this manual, let me back up. Maybe it's something inside of the DTC that's going to allude to that. I don't know. Let's just go back to the table of contents. I mean, hey, that's where we got all this information before. So we go back to the table of contents. And like the Finding Nemo, we just keep swimming, we just keep swimming because I'm looking for something, a clue, a hint. Wait a minute. Could this be the hint? Fast. What does fast mean, Mr. Bay? Well, fast is the federal account symbols and titles. These are the agency identifier codes. So, according to this, let's go to 1516. You got my curiosity. So we go to 1516. 1516. All right. Fast. Here we go. And it right under what they call balancing the securities. The DTC's FAST program allows an agent, which is an approved FAST agent, to act as a custodian for the DTC and increase or decrease the amounts of balance certificates representing the securities eligible for DTC's book entry service. Sounds like a pretty good place to be. Now, doesn't it? In order for an agent to use the DTC FAST program, it must first become a FAST agent by executing a balance certificate agreement in favor. Sounds like a good place to be for me. For securities including in the FAST program, the security certificate shall remain in the applicable FAST agent's custody as a balance certificate. Balance certificate. Sounds like a pretty good place to be for me. So I'm reading the failure for any agent in conjunction with certain FAST agents, the direct registry, the DRS. I'm reading. Now, let's just say I want to join FAST and be able to do these things. Well, got a website here. I don't know. We just gonna try. Maybe, just maybe, we might just find what we're looking for. I don't know. We'll try it for laughs and giggles. We'll just put it over here. Just keep swimming. And we just gonna keep on swimming. And do. Hey, we got a hit, man. All right, the FAST automated security program. Yeah, we're gonna accept the cookies. How the program works. This is the implementation at the mailbox. Then it's the solutions operating criteria. Whoa, there's a document here. Wow. Really? So So this document is an operational criteria for fast transfer agents processing. The operating criteria listed below are in addition to the requirements contained in the fast agreement between the DTC and the fast transfer agent. When the DTC forwards a deposit shipment control list, interesting. So yeah, we'll just add that to our list of documents that we need to study. I'm a perpetual student, as you can tell, and we're always in that mode. I don't know. So we go back out here, back to this website here. And we're looking at the key element. Oh, wait a minute. There's the key elements for insurance. It's right there. Oh my God. Let's see. And it gives us documentation. We'll just add that to the coffer now, won't we? Yeah. Lloyd's in London. Interesting, isn't it? Very. And deposit withdrawal agreements. I don't know. Maybe it'll give us some more. Well, we got the deposit withdrawal custodian. Wow, all of this beautiful bean footage. And I don't understand. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Let me tell you something about the government while I'm doing this. When I was on my vacation, a federal correction officer made a comment. He said something along the lines of, "You don't understand. When you're under the custody of the United States government, all we have to do is give you an opportunity. If you don't take advantage of the opportunity, we've done our job." And that brings me to this whole thing. Like, if they put the information out there for you to use, and you don't use it, but you're then complaining about they're taking my job and they're doing this and I don't know but you didn't do the research. You didn't even try. You was waiting for someone to tell you. Well, compliance officers, this is a new day. Last but not least, here's your balance certificate agreements right here. This is the contract. As you watch me download it. And all of these things give you the ability to use what we're talking about. Especially for those of you that have completed your training. You've already registered with North Avenue Capital and quote unquote, what am I saying? Quote unquote, what am I saying? Quote unquote, Go Capital. If you've done those two things and you're ready to move on down the line, make some revenue at the same time, then I want you to watch this video. And I want you to make an arrangement or, hey, book an appointment. Hey, give us a call, area code 561-873-2125. Hey, if you're loving what you're seeing, remember. And I'm just going to go back to this section so you know. So you get all these certificates in place, then you can start, like, as notaries to be able to start start conducting business. You're going to need these forms to conduct business. You're going to need these agreements to conduct business. You're going to need to have this on file conducting business. Then we can talk. But again, give us a call, 561-873-2125. Hope you learned something. I know I did. With that being said, family, I'm going to say peace and love. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more, nothing less.